What's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel and thanks again for tuning in to another video. Today's video is gonna be a little bit different. I'm not actually working on the truck or any of the trucks. I've spent a good chunk of today working on the trailer attached to my truck, which leads me into today's video. Now, I've gotten quite a few questions and DMs asking, hey, how does your truck haul with the 38's on it and with the Carli kit? So I'm gonna go over that with you today. Again, I'm not working on anything, so a little different, but hopefully it can help a couple of you maybe make the decision or head down the right track if you're gonna do something like this. So the truck in question is my 2024 Ram 2500 Laramie Mega Cab. It has the stock 373 gears in it, front and rear. It's got a full Carli Pintop kit, which is about a 3 1/4 lift. And then obviously 38, 13, 50, 18 Nitto ridge grapplers. A little bit bigger than most are on the kit, but I got them to fit and they still look really good and the truck still looks really good. So now let's go into the trailer that's behind it. So hooked up to it is a Sundowner 2-horse slant trailer with a full tack room behind this door right here. Now this particular Sundowner is actually set up for a bit bigger horse. Our horse Breeze is a little on the bigger side. She is a draft cross. So for those of you that don't know horses, think Clydesdale and Budweiser horses. She's a bit bigger, right? She's like a lazy boy with 4 big legs. So, and I love her to death. But the trailers that we looked at prior to this one were all a little bit too small. And she's still growing. She's only 4 years old, so she's still got a little bit more to go. So this trailer, perfect, right? Now, the way this thing sits right now is just over 5,000 pounds, okay? Again, the tack room full of gear, and there is some stuff in the back as far as like shavings and shovels and buckets and whatnot. So not an empty trailer, but no horses in it. Now, if you look at the back of the truck, it's got a little bit of a sag to it. Now you're thinking 5,000 pounds, right? On a truck that's ready to tow, I believe like 17,000 something or just under 17,000, shouldn't sag that much. Well, here's the caveat. With the Carli kit, I opted for the R1 coils, okay? So full replacement rear coils. They smoothen out the ride when the truck's unloaded tremendously. So it does say on Carli's site that you do lose a little bit of towing and payload. I think it's like 10 or 15%. So that's why I've got a little bit of sag back here. Now I could fix that real quick by throwing a set of Carli long travel bags on, or a set of Timberins or something supplemental airbag wise to raise it back up, right? But the truck is changing over the next couple months and none of this stuff that's underneath it now is gonna be there come January. So I'm not gonna really set this thing up. Now I've pulled trailers from basically this thing empty to, I wanna say 13,000 pounds of this thing. And obviously 13,000 pounds, a little bit different style setup on the hitch. It does sag a bit, right? Which the truck itself pulls phenomenal. It gets the load going, it slows the load down just fine, you know, between the exhaust brake, the trailer brake, and the tow haul. The truck does a great job, okay? But the thing that everyone's probably wondering is the sag. So Carli does have another option for those that actually want to run this style of kit on their truck and not have to worry about maybe throwing airbags on it right away, or maybe you don't pull a ton of weight, but you do tow often, or you've got quite a bit of weight in the bed all the time. And that's their R2 coil, which is 2 inches taller than the factory coil, but it doesn't sacrifice much in the way of payload or towing. I could throw a set of those on here, but those are coming, but not with this setup. So right now it's got the R1 coils. The truck rides phenomenal. On and off pavement, this is my favorite truck that I've ever put together, hands down. Out of any truck that I've done, this thing off-road with the combination of the 38's on it is just an absolute monster, right? With the trailers on it, it does sag. I'm okay with it. With the factory gearing, right, the 373's and the 38's, could I benefit from a gear change? 110%. Could I benefit from maybe jumping up to maybe a 456 or even a factory style 410? Yeah, I could. But again, this is not gonna be my forever all tow rig, right? The truck that I'm getting, that will be getting the donated parts off of this one, will be a truck that I will set up to tow, basically that one, hopefully by next show season as far as the trucks go. And that truck will be the one that gets full airbags, probably a gear swap and maybe a couple other additions under the hood, just to get that thing around comfortably. So at the end of the day, my personal opinion, I'm okay with the way that the truck sits with the trailer on it. I'm okay that it sags a little bit. And I know that there's probably some that prefer not to, right? Because you get too much sag and the headlights, you know, have a tendency to kind of stay up. So if you're hauling at night, you're not really getting a good view in front of you. You could be blinding truck drivers. I get all that. Throwing a set of airbags on. If I was going to keep this the way that it sits, hands down, the truck would have a set of airbags on. It'd have a set of Carli long travels or some sort of kit that is easy to use, right? Electric, set it and go, okay? Heck, I'd even throw a manual set on here and just run the air trucks up to where the top of the license plates or the license plate mounts in the back bumper, right? And do a manual fill. Either way, I would definitely have a set of airbags on this. My personal opinion, right? If you were going to do a setup like this, even on 37s, and you want to make sure that the truck will still do what you want it to do behind it, load-wise, throw a set of bags on it. It's a good peace of mind. You can get a decent set of manual fill airbags for, I want to say, probably $600 or $700. I know that the Carli long travel bags and a few other variants are $1,500 to $2,000. So depending on how often you're going to tow, probably not a bad idea. And I know that if you have the rear airbags from the factory on these things, that Carli does offer a kit so you can still lift the truck comfortably and not lose that benefit, which is nice. I didn't want that. So, but anyway, driving with the stock gears and the 38s, the truck does well, right? It could benefit from a gear change or some tuning or something, right? But I'm okay with it. It does what I want it to do comfortably. I don't put anyone else's lives or safety in jeopardy or harm. And the truck is still very much in control with me behind the wheel or my wife behind the wheel. So at the end of the day, if I wasn't going to get another truck, this thing would be set up a little bit better to tow, because my wife's truck is the perfect tow rig for us. And that's what I want to duplicate in another truck. Something maybe not a mega cab, something maybe with a few more ponies under the hood. That's a whole nother video. But anyway, so there you go. That's how the truck is. That's how it sits right now with 5,000 pounds or just over 5,000 pounds on the back. Again, I could have a different style hitch on there, weight distributing wise, or a better, you know, bigger drop hitch on there. But that's what I had right there ready to go. So that's what I'm running on the truck. So if you have any questions or comments, leave them below. I'm sure I probably missed a few things, but I want to just kind of cover the basics. And again, this is all my personal opinion. This is me personally, right? Like, I'm not a professional, right? I don't tow every single day. I'm not a professional by any means. Like I said, the truck has a trailer behind it less than 10% of the time, which is more than I can say about, you know, other vehicles or other trucks that I've owned in the past. So, but that's it. Trailer, truck, still does the job that I want comfortably. So like I said, any questions or comments, leave them below. Have a great rest of your week.